Hey guys, thanks for joining us for our movie review of The Justice League. Just as a side note, there will be some spoilers in this review, as it's kind of hard to talk about this film and what we liked about it without actually talking about, the scenes that we liked. I know that a lot of the critics have given it a very low rating. I still insist that it's DC slash Ben Affleck bias, and I assure you that they're wrong. So, evidence to this point. He hates superhero movies, and I dragged him to see this one. And what did you think?
I actually did like this movie. And what she just said is true. I generally do hate superhero movies. I've hated basically everything that Marvel has done movie wise in the last like 10 years, with the exception of Superman or Spider Man Homecoming. That's the one exception. Other than that, I don't really like the style.
We're talking DC now.
I'm sorry?
Talking DC.
No, I know, but you said superhero movies. You didn't like mention, the. I'm just saying in general. I usually don't really like the style. With that being said, she's right. I do tend to like DC stuff better, just because the stories tend to be darker and
More drama.
more adult oriented. I don't like the cheesy one-liner stuff. That really turns me off. And usually the acting is just crappy in all superhero movies, whether or not it's Marvel or DC. With that being said, this movie was good. It was fun to watch, and I thought that it made a lot of sense in terms of like how the story was written, and
I
yeah.
do have a few discrepancies with how it was written. But first, I need to discuss the opening, which was, in my
Oh,
opinion, flawless.
great.
It starts with an opening of Superman on like a camera phone. He's being interviewed by these little
A little
kids,
kid who's talking to him, yeah.
and it's just this very amazing somber musical score. I believe Joss Whedon, he fired XL Junkie, was their initial composer, and he hired Danny Elfman to do the music, and Danny Elfman delivered with this amazing opening somber score, and we see the city, with their black Superman flags up for mourning his death. And then we go right into, we have an action sequence with Wonder Woman, which I felt what ended abruptly for my taste. You loved it. I felt it just kind of ended abruptly, like that just seemed pretty random. And then we have another scene with Batman doing his thing, and then he sees like this flying giant insect demony thing.
I thought the demony thing was first, and then Wonder Woman was second.
Okay, that's entirely possible. I might be flip flopping those
I
two
think I
scenes.
think Wonder Woman was second. I'm pretty sure the first was Batman, and he's like going after that criminal, and then the fly thing like comes out and blah blah blah.
And people still don't know who Wonder Woman is, which was interesting. Like the
Well,
guy's like, "What are you? Who are you?" He didn't know what was going on in that scene.
it's probably because she, as Batman
Batman
so
points out.
poignantly points out later on that she's been, hiding for 100 years. Okay, so I'm gonna let you decide when I should just rant about how much I hate Wonder Woman.
First let's talk about Batman. Cause how much I love Batman.
I love this Batman
I
too.
love Ben Affleck's Batman. He's good God. I never thought I would say this. He's my favorite Batman. My favorite Batman for a long, long time was Michael Keaton, and I still love Michael Keaton's Batman. But this Batman is not afraid to get his hands dirty. He's a little bit off, but he knows his own flaws. He knows his own perfections. And even at one point in the film, he says Clark Kent was a better man, a better human than I was. Like, he's very self aware. He calls Wonder Woman out on her shit.
That was a good scene.
Yeah, he like she's like talking about the
They're
power of
totally
good
they're,
and
they're
stuff and
totally
blah blah
gonna.
blah.
Just as a side note, they're totally gonna.
Anyway, she goes off on
Totally.
this rant about morals and ethics and being like good or whatever, and he's like, excuse me, where have you been the last century? No one knows who you are. I didn't even know who you are. Like, you've done nothing. He calls her out, and rightfully so. Of course she doesn't like it, but he's right. Like, he's right about many things in this film. Now, I can't wait to see his. I've been anxious to see his Batman movie, and plus it's directed by Ben Affleck, and he's a really fabulous director. So I'm really excited
Ben
to see it.
Affleck is directing. All right, well that makes me look forward to it a lot more because he also directed Argo, which is like one of my favorite
Hey,
movies.
didn't he direct
So
something else?
I'm sure he did, but Argo is just the one that like stands out in
Starts
my
out,
mind
yeah.
because that movie
Academy
was just,
Award winner Ben Affleck 2 times.
yeah, that was just like one of the best movies I've ever seen, hands down.
He almost directed Batman versus Superman, but then they were like, "No, let's just do
I probably
Batman."
would have liked that movie if he had done that.
Batman versus Superman. While I did enjoy that as well, I do admit that it was a bit bloated. So Warner Brothers actually stated that for Justice League, it had to be no longer than 2 hours. So this movie is only 121 minutes. It doesn't feel too long or too short.
No, it flies by. There's no boring parts at all. Back to what I said in the beginning about how I really don't like most superhero movies. The two that stand out in my mind that we've mentioned so far, or Batman versus Superman. I literally just couldn't get through that movie. I got about an hour in. I was so confused and bored that I just like gave up. It was just like too much. They tried to do like six different plot points all at the same time, and I was like, I don't get it. Where is this going?
Mm-hmm.
The other, the other movie that we kind of referenced was Wonder Woman. I just have so many problems with Wonder Woman. Not just that movie, but then like
Let's
her
just
role here.
let's focus not on Wonder Woman in the movie. Let's just focus on Wonder Woman in this film and the Amazons in this.
Okay.
So let's just stick to just this
Well,
film.
but I have to bring up the
Oh
Nazi
yeah, it's
thing.
true.
Okay,
Okay,
so
fair point.
so here's the thing. I'm not going to talk about the entire Wonder Woman standalone movie, although I hated it. Just for the record, I hated that movie. I thought it was dumb as hell. I thought it made no sense whatsoever. It was. I think it's literally the most overrated movie I've ever seen. And I was like looking at her the whole time that I saw it in theaters, literally going, I'm getting angry watching this movie. It's so
He
stupid.
did.
I literally was saying that. So here's the thing, summing it up. The whole idea of the Amazons is that they're supposedly like the guardians of the world, and they're these like amazing warriors who, are prepared for anything, right? They're prepared for anything. They're gonna save the world from anything that tries to destroy it. They speak hundreds of languages, and they're on top of this shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first scene in Wonder Woman is the Nazis showing up because they're chasing this dude in a helicopter or a plane, and it crash lands, and they just kind of accidentally go into their little island thing, and the Nazis kick the crap out of them. They
'Cause they
kill.
have guns.
Yeah, they have guns. They kick the crap out of them, and the Amazons are riding around on their horses with their bows and arrows, and they think they're prepared for everything, right? Okay, fair enough. They didn't realize the weapons that the real world has, even though they say they're supposed to be prepared to protect the world. So you think maybe they could have done some research once in a while in the 5,000 years they've been around. That would have made sense, right? Anyway, so that movie took place when the Nazis lived, right? So that's like 1935 to 1946 or seven, sometime in that era. So this movie, Justice League, takes place in 2025, right?
No, that was 2017. Why would you say
I thought it
2025?
was 2025.
I don't recall seeing that at all. Where'd you get that number from?
I thought I remembered that, but whatever. It doesn't even matter.
Present day.
80 years later, 75, 80 years later, right? You would think that they would have been like, oh, we don't know anything about the real world outside of our little bubble. Maybe we should upgrade our weapons and not use bow and arrows anymore. The whole point of the Justice League movie is them trying to fight this crazy supernatural being, whose name escapes me.
Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf, right? So, and it's alluded that he's basically like a modern day devil. He wants to transform the whole world into this fiery pit of badness, and so there's this scene, and spoiler alert, where they like go back to the stupid Amazon island, and this thing descends from the sky, and they're supposedly guarding one of the things that he's trying to get in order to
box.
this box
One
that
of
is
three.
of unlimited power, in which if he gets all three, he has the power to destroy the world. And 75 years later, they are still using horses and bows and arrows. Let me see if you can guess what happens to them. They get the crap kicked out of them. I just think the whole
Oh no! Oh,
concept
wait.
of them is
There's
so fucking stupid.
There's this one scene where she takes the bow and one of the Amazons takes this bow and she shoots at Steppenwolf, who's in this full metal suit, right?
He's like 15 feet tall. I
That
mean,
doesn't matter. I'm in the theater. I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is gonna be like some sort of explosionary bow thing.
they've upgraded. They learned their lesson from the Nazis,
In my head,
right?
it was going to explode or pierce the armor or something, be like a magical bow, and instead it just bounces off of his armor. I'm like, oh god, really? Why did you think that would work if it's just literally a regular bow?
Yeah.
And the fact, never mind the Nazis, Steppenwolf came at them
5,000 years ago. They've seen this shit before.
and they didn't change anything.
Didn't change anything. And then the Nazis...
Well, it's not just them. Even the Aqua people. There was literally only 2 people guarding the box in the sea, which made like, where are you, the rest of your people? If you know there's like this big evil and this box is like depends on everyone's lives on it, like
that makes it even worse. If they saw Steppenwolf 5,000 years ago, they had 5,000 years to prepare for any other threat. Then the Nazis show up, which are not even close to being the same level of threat as Steppenwolf, and they kick the crap out of them. And they still did nothing. Dude,
and also the humans kind of
just
dropped
doesn't
the
make
ball.
any
They just kind of
sense.
had the box hanging around Star Labs for some reason, unprotected, unchecked.
Well, but they're humans, though. They've only been alive, like,
No, but the humans were part of the war, so they knew that the box was special and that they had to protect it. Now, granted, humans have obviously updated their weapons in the last 5,000 years.
even though each one of them only lives like 50 to 100 years, all of these people on the
Like
Amazon island are 5,000 years old. They have no excuse for not knowing what's coming. It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
So that's why he hates the Amazons.
It's just irritating.
I'm gonna say that the only thing that irritated me really was I think that they shouldn't have jumped right into the Steppenwolf character. I think it would have made more sense to have a villain who was Kryptonian, who saw that Earth was finally vulnerable because Superman was dead. Now Superman killed Zod in Man of Steel, right? That so Earth's being protected by Superman. Okay, fine. Where are like the other people like Zod who say, hey, now there's no one to stop me. There's no Superman. There's no Kal-El. I'm going to go and crush the Earth now and rule over them. It should have been, that would have made more sense to me than, some ancient evil from 5,000 years ago who just, I don't know, which didn't really make a whole lot of sense in that he comes when Superman's dead, but it's like, what about before Superman even landed on Earth? Like, how old is Clark? Like 30 something, 40 maybe? Let's say 40 years prior to that. Where was Steppenwolf then? Like the Earth was still vulnerable back then before Kal-El's ship lands. So to me, having Steppenwolf didn't make a whole lot of sense. There was like a missing piece there as to why he was there now.
Well, it made sense to me because first, like, the only threat of, like, I mean, there's 3 boxes, right? He needs all 3 for it to mean anything. The only box that theoretically was, like, difficult to, acquire would have been guarded by Superman, I'm assuming, because, like, the humans would have had it.
No, it wasn't even.
The other one was under.
He didn't even know about the damn box.
The other one was in the water.
One was in the sea.
And the other one
was on the island.
Right, which those 2 are obviously of no threat. So the only one that he had to worry about was the human one, which was guarded by Superman. So once Superman is gone, now he can just take all 3 easily.
But what about before Superman was born? Before he arrived? Where was he then? Why did he wait? Why did he wait after getting... He got his ass handed to him 5,000 years ago. Why did it take 5,000 years for him to regather and recoup to come back?
Maybe he's as dumb as the Amazonians.
There was like a lot of holes there that I didn't like. So I think a Kryptonian villain would have made more sense considering Superman was dead. That would have been more appropriate.
I agree.
Also, now that they have Superman, I hope that they, take... they can have Superman take each box to like a different fucking planet. Like, I wouldn't keep all 3 boxes on Earth. That's clearly not a smart way to do things.
That way Steppenwolf has to like split up his army or something, you know?
Or like, go and bury it deep, almost like close to the mantle of the Earth, like where no one can easily get it. Might be a good idea. I don't know.
Certainly don't give it to the Amazons, though. Please don't give anything to the Amazons.
Wonder Woman needs to go back and check her people and be like, look, guys, y'all ain't got superpowers like me, but I'm gonna need y'all to step up your game. So here's some weapons. You need to start making your own, like, better weapons than bows and arrows. That's a fair point.
Yeah, 5,000 years. I feel like that's more than enough time to get on board.
All right, so now let's talk about Barry Allen. So I love the Flash. Like I watched the show. I love Grant Gustin's Flash, and I love his relationship with Joe. Like I love that show. However, Ezra Miller definitely brings it. He's, he's dorky. He has no friends. He wants to do the right thing, but he's scared. I think he made an amazing Barry Allen. I really enjoyed his Flash. I didn't like his costume, but I liked his costume because it looked homemade. But it should look homemade because he made it.
Yeah, and he's a dork.
He's a dork. He's a nerd, and it looks very home sewn, as Heidi Klum might say. So, it didn't look aesthetically pleasing like the TV show's Flash or whatever, but it made sense for this character at this time.
I actually don't really know anything about the Flash. I never
Okay,
read
I'm
the
gonna
comics or
watch the show.
anything, but I thought the character made sense in the context of this movie. So
That his only requirement was that they be friends. But,
yeah, it made sense. I thought the casting was good. He looked like somebody who would have difficulty making friends or want to be part of this thing. I also liked the interaction between him and Batman, like when he does his first heroic thing when
so
Steppenwolf is like,
I don't know what to do. I'm scared. Just save one
you
person.
just save one person, you'll know what to do
So
after that.
Bruce is like
That
his,
made a lot of sense.
like his foster
Mentor,
dad.
yeah, it's kind of a mentor,
Yeah.
a superhero mentor in a way. That was a good scene. I thought, like I said, I liked everybody else except for Wonder Woman.
Alright. And now
It's just
getting
so
on to
bad.
Victor, I want to know more about his story and his personality because right now, like we know he cares about his father and he wants to change and help and all that business. But I need more about him. I need to know more about his character, and I'm interested
Yeah.
to know more about his character.
I don't know anything about Cyborg either. That
Me
was
neither.
another character that I've never read any of the
Like I knew
comics or
he
anything.
existed, but I don't know anything about Cyborg. So I
Yeah.
want to know about this Cyborg. I want to know about Victor. Aquaman was great. Jason Momoa is awesome.
Aquaman was great. I didn't really like do my research and look and see what any of like the promo shots or anything like that before I watched the movie. All I knew was the version of Aquaman that was introduced in the comics like 50 years ago, which is horrific. It's like the dorkiest super suit you've ever
Jason
seen.
Momoa would never
There's
ever
there's
look
there's
like that.
literally Family Guy bits where they clown on Aquaman because his character is so lame. And
Well,
it's
Aquaman, he looked like to me from the drawings and stuff. He looked like Captain America of the Sea, like very white bread, straight laced, really odd choice of clothing. Jason Momoa is very, he's
I'm
Hawaiian.
glad
He's
they did the
very
opposite.
wild
Yeah.
and like kind of he looks he it made
Yeah,
sense.
he looks badass. Like he's jacked. He like
He make a
he's got
great Tarzan.
cool tattoos. He's got like a cool style. He looked like that first scene in the bar when they first talked to him. He seemed like a guy that you could party with and stuff. He like pounds a bottle of whiskey and just like throws it on the ground before he dives into the ocean. They made his character super badass, which is probably what they needed to do, given the fact that I feel like pretty much all of the Marvel comic fans kind of know that of all of them, like Aquaman is kind of a pussy.
No,
Like,
DC.
everybody thinks
DC.
that.
DC.
Is Aquaman DC?
This is a DC film. It's DC, not Marvel.
I can't keep them straight. I can't keep all the characters
Aquaman is
straight.
DC. But that being said, as badass as he was,
Green Lantern, is that DC too?
yes, yes, which they showed in the flashback 5,000 years ago. The Green Lantern was part of the fight against Steppenwolf the
Oh
first time
yeah.
around. And where were the Green Lantern?
Where
people?
was he? Yeah, that brings up an interesting point.
Well, he'll probably be in the next
Foreshadowing
Justice
for
League.
yeah, foreshadowing for the next one, I'm sure.
Now, all that being said, Aquaman wasn't totally just badass. There is a moment where he's vulnerable only because Wonder Woman puts her lasso around him and he doesn't know it.
She cheated.
She tricked him.
She cheated.
But it was good because, that means he's not one dimensional. I'm just a badass and I drink and throw things. Rawr. Like, he does have another side that he keeps hidden. So it was good to see that side so that we know. You never want like a static character.
Yeah, that's not interesting. So
No.
it's good that like everybody has their weaknesses.
Oh.
I go ahead.
Before I forget, that's why I keep forgetting. It's been like 10 minutes. The best part of the movie for me, and I'm trying to keep spoilers to a minimum, but
Oh, we've already spoiled the whole movie.
Okay, well, I won't say how Superman comes back, but when Superman comes back and he's kind of disoriented, one of the best scenes is when he takes Wonder Woman and he headbutts her, so like he headbutts her down into the concrete. Like it's such a great, that was like the best actiony moment for me. And then he's like watching, he can move as fast as the
How
Flash.
dare you condone
And
violence
he's,
against women,
shut
Jill?
up. And he sees Barry, and he gives like this evil look as he sees Barry running around him, and he gives like "I see you" kind of look. It was just such a badass moment. That was like my favorite action scene.
It was a good
Oh,
scene.
I will. Oh, right. I did not like that Bruce's big guns to for Superman was Lois Lane. That didn't make any sense to me. It should have been his mother, Martha Kent, which was their whole thing in the last movie, Batman versus Superman. The reason why Batman stops is because Clark says Martha, their moms is like, I'm just saying, they're grown men, yes, but they love their mothers, and I think it would make more sense if it was Martha Kent getting out that car saying Clark and like getting him to calm down, and he just goes and he hugs his mother. That would have been more satisfying to me than Lois Lane, who I don't really care for her anyway, but his mom would have made more sense. Just saying.
I don't know. I mean, he's a guy, and he's got to have his needs met by
His whole
somebody.
thing was save Martha last time. And if anyone's going to bring, like, if you were going crazy and feral and killing people or about to kill people, like, wouldn't seeing your mom, like, kind of bring you back to yourself? Like,
I think either one of them equally kind of in that scenario.
sorry, I'm pro mom here.
It's more realistic that like Lois would be able to get there in time though versus the mom.
Well, she didn't live on the farm anymore. She could have been close by in the city in a shitty apartment.
I guess. I don't know. There's like lots of arguments on both sides for that.
I'm just saying, considering the whole save Martha thing is what snaps Batman out of it last movie, it would have been a nice parallel to have Martha's save Clark from himself. That's all I'm saying. Would have been more satisfying to me.
The only thing that I wish they would do, which I know is like probably really difficult for them to do, I wish that the other superheroes appeared as smart as Bruce. Which I know is a tall order because like Bruce is the ringleader and he's the science guy with all the money and all that
Well,
stuff.
Cyborg's smart too, beyond his
I think
understanding.
I think him and Bruce are the smartest ones. It's like, I mean, people are gonna hate me for saying this, but I
Well,
feel like Superman and like Wonder Woman, they're just dumb as rocks. Like if they didn't have their superpowers, they were just normal people. Come on, when have either one of those characters ever uttered anything like profound or like
well, Superman he's a farm boy. Like he stays in his lane. He knows.
dumb as rocks?
Clark Kent ends up being like, he's a news reporter. He's not doing anything
I just
extravagant.
wish they had like more input into the plan of like what to do. It just seems
Well,
like I didn't like how it seemed like everything that they decided to do pretty much was orchestrated by Bruce
also Cyborg.
and Cyborg. Yeah.
Well, no,
Nobody else.
Well, no, that's what you need on a team. So Cyborg is like Dr. Bruce Banner for Marvel fans, and Bruce is obviously like Tony Stark without all of the snark. So those are your brains. Like everyone can't be a brain. You just everyone can't be a leader. So their leader is Bruce, even though he's not the most powerful. Their brains are Bruce and Cyborg. Everyone just if everyone just needs to operate in their lane. Everyone take the orders. Just like, they're listening to a guy who has no superpowers whatsoever. Everyone else in that room but Bruce Wayne has a superpower.
That's
And
true.
Bruce Wayne admits, my superpower is money, but he's also a leader. He's a natural leader. He's the one who brings the team together.
I kind of wish they had said like something else besides "I'm rich."
But it's true. Well, he's the leader.
But he's also like ridiculously geniusly smart. I mean, like there's a lot of people who are super smart that are dumb as rocks.
He was being flippant, but Bruce's true powers outside of his money is that he's a leader and he's also a tactician.
Yeah, he's a tech genius and an inventor and all those
But
other things.
who's making the weapons? Him or Alfred? That's unclear to me. I don't know that Bruce is
Well,
making his
one of them
weapons.
is a genius.
I think it might be Alfred because Alfred's the one
I
running the
mean,
show in the operating
one
room.
of them is a genius. I mean, there's nobody else who's inventing like new aircraft and kryptonite grenades. And I
I
mean,
think it might be. Well, I think it might be a joint effort between him and Alfred.
the point is that
And
they're obviously like years ahead of everybody else, even the military and stuff like that. I mean,
well,
somebody there is clearly a
in
genius.
Nolan's Batman, it was Lucius Fox who was making all of Batman's gadgets. But
Yeah,
we do see Bruce engineer his own weapons against Superman. He like makes the gas bombs, and Alfred gives his input too. So it looks like they're like a team effort building these items.
agreed.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like everyone can't do that. Like Aquaman commands, the water. He can stop water and shit from flowing in. Everyone can't do that. Like just stay in your lane.
I felt like they were trying really hard in this movie to come up with ways for Aquaman to help. I mean, that last scene had like nothing to do with water.
No, it didn't. But he has superpowers either way.
He's strong,
He's strong, but he can command water.
and he's
So
got a
he doesn't need the water to have
he's
strength.
got a pitchfork. It's real strong.
But it's a magical pitch for it.
It's a magical pitchfork.
It's enchanted or something. Anyway, I like Aquaman.
I like Aquaman too. I'll forgive those plot holes just because of the fact that he's a badass in these movies and not like the
And
way that it looks originally.
I like Wonder Woman more in this movie than in her own movie because I found a lot of issues with her acting in the first one, and I mentioned it in I wrote a review on houseoffangirl.com. And I think, and that one of the things that I said specifically was that I felt like Gal Gadot was like resting on pretty. Like if you're fighting and you're battling, you're not going to be looking cover girl the whole time. You're going to look, you're going to be
Yeah.
like, you're going to Lucy Lawless your way through it. You're going to be
Yeah.
making angry, ugly faces because you're fighting. So there
Yeah.
was more of that in this movie.
I will say this: I really liked Wonder Woman's action sequences in this movie. I thought they were really good. I felt like
And I love her music.
I felt like they gave her like accurate screen time as well. She had just as much action sequences with the team and individually as all the other members, and her action sequences were 50 times better than they were in her original movie. I still don't like her acting. Sorry.
It's improved though.
It's a little bit better. I just don't think she's a great actor. Sorry. It's just my honest opinion. Her action sequences were much better. It's really not like her, the actress, that I have a problem with. It's mostly just like the writing and the backstory of that whole thing just doesn't make any sense to me. And I think that before they adapted that character into the movies, they should have made tweaks to the story for it to make a little bit more sense. I feel like they tried too hard to do it just exactly the way that it was done in the comics, which unfortunately doesn't really make sense in a movie made for adults. So
People need to not be afraid of the adaptation part.
yeah, they
and
should
that-
have changed it just the way they changed Aquaman. He was massively changed. He doesn't look like that in the comics.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that being said, I look forward to the solo Batman movie, the
Oh, yeah.
Flashpoint movie that they're going to do for Barry. Aquaman's getting his own movie.
Is
Also,
it?
Cyborg.
Oh, that's gonna be both of them. I didn't know that. That's gonna be great.
They're kind of reverse engineering the whole Marvel thing. So they're going to do the group films first and then go back into solo movies.
That's smart.
But also, who else was getting their own movie? Oh, I just had it. I've lost it. Oh, Batgirl. They're going to do a Batgirl movie with Joss Whedon. So I'm very, as a Buffy fan, obviously, and also as a fan of Avengers, I am interested to see Joss's Batgirl, even though his script for Wonder Woman was heavily criticized. I still believe in the
By
power
me.
of Joss. No. He didn't do this Wonder Woman. He had another script that they didn't use.
Oh, really?
And someone put it online, and he got like a lot of crap for it.
Interesting.
And he also got a lot of crap for the Black Widow Hulk kind of romance thing in Avengers, which I didn't have a problem with that at all. I thought people were tripping. Anyway, I look forward to his Batgirl. He also helped out on this movie for the Snyders. Zack Snyder and his wife had to drop out due to sadly their daughter committed suicide.
Oh,
I think.
God. That's terrible.
So Joss came in and did the rest of it. So anyway, I'm excited for the DC verse expanding and more movies to come and taking this guy along for the ride. So you might have seen my fangirl individual movie review. That's for the movies that he absolutely will not see, like Thor.
Sorry,
So
it's
I'm
just
I'm still gonna review them though. That's
yeah.
okay.
I can't do it. I can't do most of them. I had to be dragged to this one even by her.
And he didn't regret it, so
I did not regret it.
going in the right
Like
direction.
Wonder Woman.
And he can't wait for him to see Black Panther, and I'm so stoked about
That one
that.
looks way better. So let's see what that's like. Is that about it for this review?
30 minutes. Wow, we had a lot to say,
Yeah, that was a long one.
but it was a great movie.
If you guys like what we have to say, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Also, on Facebook, make sure to follow and like the page at The Living Rochon, and also on Instagram at RL Rochon. And also check out the brand new website, www.thelivingrochon.com. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, we'll see you guys later.